I ain't hating on single mothers. Matter of fact, I'm finna hit you with my personal list of 15 benefits of dating a single mom. Now here go the facts. Step families outnumber biological families in the USA. I speak on this in my 25 red flags when dating single moms video, which happened last week. And a Pew study done in 2011 also pointed out that black men are more likely to have stepchildren than anyone else. That includes Hispanics, Caucasians, shit, it even includes black women. Yeah, while only 14% of black women become step parents, 24% of black men are raising another man nut. I'm one of those black men. Do I advise it? That's where it gets tricky, like a sexy, petite, feminine transgender with soft hands and smooth skin. I don't advise against it, but I'm not, you know what, anyway. My name is Tijuana Jackson. I'm a licensed therapist, and I teach men how to go from fumble to focus and finesse the game of life. Come on! If you like something, do me a favor right now and hit the like button. If you motivated as hell, hit the notification bell. Benefit number 1 of dating a single mom. I got to be 40 plus years old, the woman I was attracted to, and never had to deal with the pressures of having a biological child. Y'all might say, well, if you don't want children, why mess with a woman who got kids? I'm not saying I don't want a child. I'm just saying I didn't want to be pressured by a woman with a ticking biological clock. Most single women with kids ain't really in a hurry to soak up nobody cream pie. And according to the arrangement the mother got with the biological daddy, the new man's involvement could range from seeing the kids on the weekends to real full-time shit. It just depends on what each of y'all is looking for. We'll talk more about that a little later on in the video. Benefit number 2 of dating a single mom. 80% of all step-family households have about 2 incomes. You ain't getting with a woman who don't want to work. When I met my woman, she was waiting tables while closing in on her degree. Then went on to do a residency as an outpatient nurse for the elderly. That's how we got our first rental property. One of them old horny motherfuckers died because the housekeeper turned the AC up too high, freezed up his diaper, and then he went into shock. That housekeeper ended up getting charged with manslaughter. My old lady inherited the house, but the point is, the single mom is, without a question, most likely holding down a job. This way, you can gauge what you're getting into budget-wise. Do not move in with any woman who got a whole lot of debt. Debt is a byproduct of habit, not habitat. You can't spell debt without EBT. But I'm serious about this one. Listen, I hate to hit this button because my studio a mess, but if you see somebody with a whole lot of debt, I'm telling you right now, it's one of these. If they got a whole lot of debt, it's one of these. Don't make me repeat that. The quality of her work will give you great insight to the quality of her life. This can apply to any woman. It could apply to any man. Tell y'all, before I took my womb tap XXL condom off, I made sure the woman I was choosing had a passion for something constructive and a strong sense of purpose. She got her degree to do what she was passionate about, and she good at it too. Last thing I want is a woman looking to me for a sense of purpose. You ain't met misery till you meet a motherfucker with no sense of purpose. Buzz! Benefit number 3, at least for me, of dating a single mom. A woman with children is often domestically inclined. Shit, mine is, I eat gourmet 4 or 5 times a week, and that's because the other 2-3 days of the week I'm eating her. And that shit deserves a Michelin star. You know how some folks shit be shaped like this? No, man, she got that nice little pretty one. It's a little triangle. Don't look like a bunch of babies popped out that motherfucker, man, but they did. I actually witnessed it one time. I'll tell you about that a little later on, too. Let's get on with it. Benefit number 4 of dating a single mom. It's gonna get me in trouble. Like I said, we ain't fixing the cow with a cancel culture. I got to see what her post-birth body look like. A lot of times, a fine woman to get pregnant, and then all of a sudden, they plastic surgery don't fit them no more. Looking lopsided, they walking around looking like an inflatable air dancer, or they got the SpongeBob shape when they dance, they be looking like a sperm. Being able to see how a woman's body holds up after popping out a couple of bambinos is an underestimated blessing, in my opinion. I prefer a natural body. I ain't attracted to that WWF Roger Rabbit look, hey, but to each their own. Plus, I get paranoid when I can't read a motherfucker facial expressions. You know how they get the surgery, they can't smile right and shit. Anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked. Benefit number 5 of dating a single mom. In a world where it's hard to distinguish the OnlyFans star from the preacher's wife, simply observing a woman's parenting style will tell you more about who she really is than any of her close friends, any of her exes, or social media profiles ever will. And the language them kids use is the language she uses with her kids, and the language she will eventually try to use with you. Healthy communication is usually rooted in good character, which is better than some gal with veneers and a BBL playing a character. You see the difference? You heard me? You ever hear the term, you don't play boxing? Well, you don't play parenting either. And I know what a lot of y'all is thinking. Yes, it's a lot of part-time parents posting Photoshop pics, they children's accomplishment all over the internet talking about it was all worth it. Yeah, they come around less than Ebola. I know, I'm hip to it. Your kids will expose you worse than pocket watching with JT. That's my homeboy channel. I need to go check his channel out. So I want you to pay close attention, because just by looking at how she gets down with her kids, you can better distinguish toxic from top bitch. Boom! Benefit number 6 of dating a single mom. You already know she nasty. That's why she ain't with her ex now. Let's say you've considered the first 5 benefits and everything is looking good. One thing you ain't got to second guess is her sexual prowess. A single mother, she done turned out men willing to provide far less than you. Single mother's been stretched. Physically and psychologically, spiritually and economically. A very interesting social experiment reveals single mothers are 40% less likely to date than their ex-husbands. And believe it or not, single moms are also less likely than single dads to get into a new relationship. And you want to know why? Because society frowns on single moms still trying to get their back blown out. Even after having children, single mothers is expected to be virgins in the USA. So that leaves a lot of single moms having to get that brown paper bag dick, you heard me? Don't assume just because she's a single mom, she ain't getting none. What she's not getting is unconditional acceptance, exclusivity. That's a whole other level. It's a deeper connection that opens up another 3, 4, 5 inches of pussy where they let you fuck them in their soul. She ain't getting that. Whoever she fucking on the DL, he ain't getting that either. Benefit number 7 of dating a single mom. Well, if you a loner like me, who grew up in a lot of dysfunction, with a fragmented family, when you get with somebody who's family-oriented, a single mom who's family-oriented, you basically being adopted into a whole new family. A social circle you probably couldn't maintain on your own. My old lady always hosting something. She stay planning shit for my nieces, nephews, and siblings, always bringing our families together. Man, if it wasn't for her, the only time I would see my families is at funerals. On God, boss! Benefit number 8 of dating a single mom. Benefit of experience. And let me clarify for these gas siphoning niggas. Just because a woman or a man been through some shit don't mean they've gained wisdom from that experience. Prime example, if they still blaming folks, they ain't learning. Blame is an indicator of victimhood. Did they get done wrong? Hey, possibly. But their focus is supposed to be on what they can control, what they could do better, to not put themselves or their kids through the same experiences. When they telling you about how they got did, what they really saying is, will you react to my sob story in a way that makes me feel better? Will you save me? Hey, tell y'all something. The right single mom has actually learned from her mistakes. The right single mom can oftentimes laugh about them. She will metabolize her setbacks and shit out confidence. And she'll ride a mean dick too. The wrong single mom will repeat her mistakes with you, with whoever come after you, whoever came before you, and whoever came along with you. And look, man, if you ain't hit the subscribe button by now, if you ain't hit the like button by now, seriously, you gotta ask yourself some questions. What is you here for? Is you not receiving the benefits? Are you not experiencing the magic in this live stream, the spirit, the high vibration? Are you not inspired? Are you not entertained? If you ain't hit the subscribe button, what you looking for? We got about 7,500 people watching this stream right now. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, no. It's not 7,500, that's actually, oh, that's the bit rate. Okay, we got about, it's about 9 people watching this stream right now. About 9 of y'all motherfuckers better be sharing this shit. It better be 9 shares out there somewhere. So look, the other benefit of her experience is that the right single mother who been through some shit know the value of a man whose heart is in the right place. Hey man, look, I'm gonna tell y'all straight up. I'm a lovable asshole. I am. I put up with a lot, but I am also a handful. I have my issues. It's not to say that whoever single mom you get won't have her issues, because she will. She's human. But it's a lot easier to tolerate when she ain't always focusing on me. I'm like an astronaut. No bullshit. I really like my fucking space. But benefit number 9 of dating a single mom is that the right single mom cannot afford to confuse her real life with social media. This alone keeps her expectations far more realistic. When y'all on the gram trying to find the right filter, she trying to find the right food. Mom on the grind. In her house, going viral is just another way of saying the baby got the flu. While y'all trying to stitch together your Instagram stories, the right single moms is reading bedtime stories Most of us are programming ourselves through the narratives we allow in our timeline. And as I always say, in order to maintain your attention, media must operate in extremes. It is your perception that steers your life. Media's job is to take your wheel of perception and steer you before Jesus do. Buzz! Hey man, if you ain't subscribed by now, if you ain't subscribed, have you hit the like button? Have you subscribed? Have you hit the like button? At least? Come on, man. Make like Metamucil and push this shit. Real shit. Here go a quick story for you. A beautiful family lived just up the street from me. Husband and wife and 2 kids. The husband was a dentist. The wife was a physical therapist who stopped working to be a stay-at-home mom. She was thick, dressed nice, friendly, approachable, smelled nice. Shit. I never did nothing with her. The husband was devoted and hardworking. Great dad, too. After being overlooked for promotion that was supposed to be his, he decided to start his own practice. A few years in, things was looking a little bleak. The kids was getting older and more independent. The husband was working all the time, which gave mom more time to herself. So to keep herself busy, mom decided to get back into the workforce as a physical therapist. Now she was getting hit on by a lot of young, hot prospects. A lot of them was athletes. They would leave the facility and slide into her DMs. They'd follow her. They'd follow her on TikTok, follow them back. Soon, she started posting hot mom stuff, which would get a lot of likes. She liked the attention. She admired the lifestyle these young bulls was living. She eventually grew resentful of her husband because, as she put it, her and her husband's lifestyle had no pizzazz. Her husband was still struggling with the dental practice and couldn't afford her the lifestyle these young athletes was promising her. She knew better, but eventually she stepped out on her marriage. This young, very attractive athlete, who was actually one of her patients. And, well, she kept it a secret for as long as she could, until a pregnant cutie showed up at her job, sat in the lobby waiting to talk with her. Well, that pregnant young lady is that young athlete's wife and baby mama. And you want to know what else? That young athlete and his baby mama? HIV positive. Which is weird, because it wasn't in his TikTok bio. Guess who else tested positive? That's right. The dentist's wife was now HIV positive. Miraculously, her husband, the dentist, tested negative. Why? Because he was so proud of the work that he'd done to her teeth over the years. He'd only fuck her in the mouth. Last I heard, the dentist sold his practice for $14.5 million. He retired and moved to Canada to be closer to his grandkids. His ex-wife is single, HIV positive, has very little contact with her kids who are now resentful young adults, and surprisingly is living a single and medicated life with little to no pizzazz. Nope. No pizzazz, just pizza. Like I said, media operates in extremes, and a lot of us allow ourselves to be indoctrinated by those extreme narratives and so-called pizzazz. Buzz. That world is only real in the minds of the people who feed it to themselves daily. In the real world, it's a lot of single mothers who ain't got time to indoctrinate themselves with TikTok because they are vigilantly focused on the well-being of their children. Shops at Marshall's, Costco, and Target doesn't mean she don't like nice things, but her values are in order. She'll pass up Yves Saint Laurent for an evening with the kids. But she'll choose grocery bags over designer bags every time. The modest woman, the modest single mom exists. But media ain't getting clicks if they don't report the ratchet. They only getting clicks if they report the ratchet. So the modest woman gets overlooked, like the Black Bachelor episode. The modest woman is so misrepresented by all the strippers being hired to act stupid on podcasts or show their labia for the like. The modest single mother only wants attention that is healthy for both her and her kids. So even though my old lady get on my nerves, she's a modest woman with no desire for the limelight. Her version of self-respect is very much in alignment with my own. Which brings me to benefit number 10 of dating a single mom. When you find the right single mom, you will notice that her children are built into her moral compass. My old lady got a cold little body, the OnlyFans type. Not her feet though, she gotta cover them Komodo dragons up. Them shits need to be scaled like a red snapper. But her body was made for OnlyFans. Still, she's conscious of how her actions influence our kids. So on her page, she don't show her face. Just go to @Lola the Polar on OnlyFans. She call herself that because she bipolar as fuck. But the right single mom is always in a state of thinking about more than just herself. And as her man, you get to benefit from her self-awareness, her sense of exclusivity, because she's always being mindful of how her actions affect her child's development. Now listen close, because I'm fitting to drop some OG shit. A lot of us was robbed of our childhoods due to family dysfunction. We lost our innocence too early because our parents was negligent or didn't protect us or suffered from the Woody Allen disease. Y'all know what that is? So we spend too much of our adult life trying to get our childhoods back. Sadly, a lot of single mothers out there is doing that exact thing at the expense of their children. If you ask me, children have no business having children. So to my good men, if you come across that type of scenario, that is not the single mother I want for you. Vixen motherhood, diva motherhood, in them streets motherhood. Hey, look, let me be clear about something, okay? This is a no shame zone, okay? So my objective here is not to be shaming folks. I'm just saying, for the young men that look to me for my mentorship, for my tutelage, don't let that happen, Captain. Don't let that happen. Those are the ones often with developmental delays, unresolved trauma. Motherfuckers live in their 20s like they wanted their teens to be. Live in their 30s like they wanted their 20s to be. Live in their 40s like they fresh out. If you with the right single mama, you ain't gotta worry about her trying to put out no sex tape, promote a mixtape. I'm not talking about those baby mamas. In this video, I'm talking about the right single mama, the modest single mama, not these sponge bath 304s. Benefit number 11 of dating a single mom, contrary to popular belief, you ain't expected to be insta-dad. Matter of fact, you better fall back on that. You don't even wash your hands after you use the bathroom. Don't nobody want you handling their kids, especially if she got daughters. Right single mom already got a village rallying around her kids. A village that came together long before you submitted your application. My advice is do way more observing and way less talking and stay the fuck out the way. You get to be mom's support system and be the OG unk at best. Now, when some scenario circumstances change, when you might have to move away for work opportunities, that could take y'all away from your support system or your village, and then all of a sudden, you a full-blown parent, 24/7. I ain't no holy roller, but this is one of them scenarios, one of them instances where, you know what? You should probably put a couple of dollars in the envelope, send that shit to Creflo Dollar and ask him to pray y'all never have to move too far away. Because losing that support system can change your relationship dramatically. Benefit number 12 of dating a single mom. The right single mom is very intentional, meaning she ain't about these games. She ain't about that procrastination. She's usually pretty clear on the role she expects you to play in her life and her kids' lives. And she's pretty clear of what she's able to offer you, which means transparency. She won't waste your time, and she won't let you waste hers. Last thing you want to do after hooking up is move in together and find out she a cat lady on the DL, whole house smelling like shitty litter. Benefit number 13 of dating a single mom. Kids are painfully honest. Look, if you are a single millennial or a single Gen Xer, nowhere near where you want to be in life, retirement fund got fire festival vibes, it's probably because you spent too much time leaning on your own understanding. You put too much trust in your own perspectives. You're probably not even researching for information. You spend your days reading and listening to affirmations. Her kids who probably ain't gonna like you no way, will light your ass up. If you are ready to see you differently, if you know how to weather that mean ass roast, cause it's gonna be a bunch of them, you can really turn your life around. Hearing these fresh, rude, I ought to whoop your ass perspectives can really open up your life and give you an opportunity to rectify the things that you fail to correct on your own. And I know that sounds crazy. To some, it might even sound far-fetched. But guess what? OG is actually talking from personal experience. Benefit number 14 of dating a single mom is pacing. When dating the right single mother, the pacing tends to be healthier. Why? Because more than you is involved. I met my stepkid's biological dad early in the game, and I told him, I'm gonna be blowing her back the fuck out. She gonna be screaming. It's gonna sound like she dying, and everybody gonna hear it. Shit, you might hear it even cross town. But don't worry, I will never do anything to hurt your kid's mama or your kids. Now, if I catch your kids stealing or doing drugs, I'm gonna whoop their ass Kunta style. If they can give me a logical explanation for their actions, I'm gonna give them a pass, even if I wholeheartedly disagree with their reasoning. If you ever get between me and your ex about anything, I'm sending the goons to your mama house. They gonna tie up and wait for you to come save her. And when you get there, my cousin the donkey, he gonna breach your manhood. But hey, man, I'm not here to divide the family. I'm actually looking forward to getting to know you. I ended up hooking him up with a thickums too. My point is, there's no need for hot and heavy. If you are rushing to marry or commit with a single mother, if she is skipping past or rushing the courting process, it's a trap. If you are rushing to commit, you are making a huge mistake. This is one of those situations that begs for patience. You have to vet her, especially when kids involved. And it takes time, believe me. She's gonna be vetting your ass. Now, benefit number 15 of dating a single mom comes with a quick story. One of my Nearapy patients, Trevor, he's an HEO, heavy equipment operator out in Nashville. He'd been with his baby mama since high school. They'd been through all kind of drama. His baby mama was abandoned by her family when she was only 16 because she got pregnant for Trevor. Granted, she was only in the 10th grade, so I could see why her parents were pissed off, but by Nashville standards, I guess she could have waited, another year? So she ended up moving in with Trevor and his parents. Trevor's mom quit her gig to take care of the baby, insisting that Trevor and his baby mama, Catalina, complete school. Catalina was Mexican, and her parents didn't want her to be with nobody dark-skinned, not just black people. They didn't want her to be with no dark-skinned Mexicans either. Trevor's mom, having to quit her gig to raise the baby, hurt him financially. And on top of that, taking in a pregnant Catalina meant more mouths to feed, and eventually her baby, more mouths to feed again. Trevor's dad eventually took on 2 jobs to support the family, but the financial strain also strained the marriage. So Trevor's mom and dad eventually separated. Trevor's mom made Catalina and Trevor promise to not end up like her. She made him promise to not get married until they were both career bound. She vowed to take care of the baby for as long as it would take. 6 years later, the baby ain't eating nothing Catalina cooked, don't want nothing Trevor mama cook, and the baby want mayonnaise on everything. Baby ain't got no rhythm, and her natural hair look like it came out the pack. Like, what the fuck is that? Well, guess what? Trevor pops the question. You sure this baby mine? His baby mama got the hemming and hawing, sound like 2 polar bears giving each other back shots. That was all it took for Trevor to insist on a paternity test, and guess what? Trevor was not the father. Catalina got pregnant in high school for some white boy on the football team, and the real reason her family abandoned her is they could not support her lying about it being Trevor's child. They tried to tell Trevor's parents on numerous occasions, but they didn't speak English, and Trevor's parents no habla español, which explains benefit number 15 of dating a single mom. You ain't gotta wait 6 years to find out it ain't your child. Boss! Now let's be clear. I am not advising you to go seek out a single mom. Not at all. But we are living in a time where meeting a single mom is very likely. They say no high-value man, whatever, date a single mother. And I believe that they're right. From my own observation, from the men I speak with, and the mothers of the men that I speak with, the single mom is the least desired. And I get it. She come with a lot of baggage. The likelihood of the family prioritizing you like a real family member, according to Pew Research analysis, is not likely. And like I said, I paid the price for dating a single mother, been paying the price for almost a decade. Dating a single mother made me realize I come with a lot of emotional baggage too. I am not high value in all aspects of life. I was only high value at making money. I was only high value at entertaining. When it comes to networking, I ain't even mid-value. And when it came to communication with my partner in productive ways, I was low value at best. When it came to healthy relationships, I don't even think I could use the word value. My daddy was always looking for a reason to put his hands on my mama. That shit was nerve-wracking as a kid. My mama not being mentally stable throughout my childhood took a toll on my mental state. My parents thinking cheating on each other would help balance out their emotional voids. My dad drinking and driving and being an alcoholic, jeopardizing our lives when I was a child, turned me into a 6-year-old chaperone. Having a younger brother to protect at the same time made me realize I never had a childhood. My parents involving me in their affairs and blaming me for their affairs as a child was psychologically damaging till this day. My parents' actions convinced me to never trust anybody with my heart. Their ongoing quest for pleasure and validation taught me I could never trust my parents with my life. They both abandoned me emotionally, and then my mother abandoned us physically. To this day, I live by the philosophy 99% of people will choose their addictions over their lives. I've been saying that since I was 11 years old. Boom! An 11-year-old ain't got no business being that damn deep. But the truth is, my relationship skills, my toxic communication, my need to control, my damaged self-esteem, my deep-seated resentment towards my parents, my subconscious self-hate, it has taken decades to heal from. I'm still healing. That's how I was programmed. And that programming is almost impossible to shake. Meanwhile, most of the people I do Nearapy sessions with today ain't even aware of how their childhoods have affected them psychologically. They just walking around unfulfilled, repeating toxic cycles, feeling stuck, mad at the world, blaming everybody but themselves. 10 years ago, I got with a single mother. And for the first 2 years, I kept asking myself, what the hell am I doing here? And I realized I didn't choose a single mother. I chose my mother, right down to the letter. That's how deep the programming go. I spent over 20 years trying to reverse engineer my sense of inadequacy. I spent over 20 years trying to reparent myself into someone cooler, more confident, more loving, more trusting. These past 10 years with a single mom have been the most challenging. They have been the best and the worst crash course on human compassion and self-compassion I've ever had. It has been the most accurate mirror I've ever stood in. I've learned things about myself that I'm embarrassed to admit. It's the same shit I used to judge other people for, but I've also learned things about myself that have made me a lot more confident. For example, I had no clue I was as deep and as loyal as I am. I had no clue I was capable of making tens of millions of dollars repeatedly. I had no clue my wood game would become world class. And I definitely had no clue that I could be a good father, especially the emotionally aware father that I am learning to be today. Our children, including my biological child, whom I had with what many call the undesirable single mom, is reaping every benefit of our hard-earned self-awareness. And even still, till this day, rather than focus on all the positive possibilities, I'm constantly preoccupied with what could go wrong, catastrophizing. Why? Because my childhood conditioned me to believe whomever and whatever I love will eventually be taken away from me. So the fact that I found a woman, found a family willing to tolerate me while I work through my issues is humbling as fuck. Not a lot of people out there being accepted for who they truly are. Hence, body surgery at an all-time high. Hence, every nigga with CEO in his social media bio. Not a lot of people showing up in relationships being themselves. I'm supposed to be a single incel making MGTOW videos. Instead, I'm making videos in the studio that my old lady helped put together while I was out taking dance classes with my 2-year-old son. I have my own YouTube studio set up right up the street from my fucking house. And as soon as this stream is over, my old lady gonna pull up with a home-cooked meal and a tight pussy. No cap. No bullshit. We have our best sex in this motherfucker. That's the price I had to pay for dating a single mom. Self-acceptance, self-realization. And I was kicking and screaming the whole time. That's the price I had to pay coming from a childhood I don't wish on nobody. Fellas, never let society set the standard for your personal happiness. Maybe your daddy wasn't interested in being in your life. Maybe you grew up in a very critical environment. Maybe your mama was a crackhead. Whatever the case is, those experiences influence who you are today. And if you ain't aware of how those experiences influence your outlook or affect your self-esteem, you probably better off single anyway. Because self-awareness is really what determines the quality of your relationships and the quality of the people you choose. And here go an even deeper truth. You are not alpha. You are not beta. You are not sigma. You know what you is? You Kevin. You Anthony. You Dre, Demetrius, Luke, Eric, so on and so forth. You ain't a label. You an individual with a unique upbringing and psychological makeup. Labels is an easy form of indoctrination. Labels is for lazy people, emotionally dwarfed with no understanding of nuance. High-value men don't date single moms. Are you a high-value man in every aspect of life? Well, I tell you what, if you're watching this, probably not. So what's the fucking problem? I dare you to take my value assessment test. 50 unique questions that will change your life. It'll show you who you really are. It'll show you how much value you do or don't bring to any relationship. The link is in the description. Help your fucking self. We so focused on these labels. We so focused on the extremes of feminism, the extremes of chauvinism, the extremes of sexism. We don't even know what's going on in our real lives. We ain't even got around to seeing ourselves for who we really is. And if you don't do that, how do you work on improving the real you? We all come with our own set of emotional baggage, but in most of my Nearapy sessions, it's obvious that most of us underestimate the effects of our dysfunctional upbringing. I'm high value in entertainment, making money, and my wood game gold medal worthy, which you can see for yourself on my OnlyFans page at Tijuana Jackson. But only after 20 years of mindful practices ranging from meditation, journaling, yoga, whatever else the hell I tried, I honestly say I'm high value in emotional intelligence. Been with a single mom damn near 10 years, a heavily flawed partner, and my children, both step and biological, have influenced my communication and my empathy for others. Allowed me to live shame-free as my heavily flawed self. I'm running free like Burger King tap water in this bitch. Boom! And I ain't saying this for everybody. I've been with baddies, 10s and 11s with no kids worldwide. Maybe they wasn't toxic enough for a nigga like me. Maybe I wasn't what they were looking for, but speaking from personal experience, my goal is to help wean you off that media hamster wheel and steer you to a stronger, clearer sense of self, sense of purpose, and personal fulfillment. I'm not telling you to go date a single mom, but whomever you date, I want you to do it right. Single moms just have to be handled a bit differently. So I want you to be conscious and aware of what to look for. You don't end up becoming a cautionary tale these so-called gurus always talking about. So I put together an entire single mother series to make sure that you don't get involved with the wrong type of baby mama. For instance, this video right here, dating a single mom, 25 red flags to avoid, will save you so much strife. Even the single moms who watch the video say, damn, all truths, even the ones that stung. If you haven't subscribed to my channel at this point, good luck with your life.